Hi, I'm Jonathan Bowman-Perks. Time allocation. A lot of people often talk about time management. I need to get my time management sorted out. But as one chairman said to a CEO I was coaching when we had a meeting, a 3-hour meeting, he said, it's not about time management, it's about time allocation. We all have the same 24 hours. How are you going to allocate the time that you have to the things that matter most? Another great tip that I often pass on that someone gave me was, as a leader, you're paid to make 3 decisions a year. You got to work out what those 3 decisions are and then see them through, make the decisions and act on them. And a lot of people get caught up in the thick of thin things. They get caught up in doing lots of stuff, busy, dead. But they don't focus on a few things that can add the most value. This is where the idea of time allocation. What are your priorities? Are you working to within your priorities? When something comes in at you, don't just say, leave it with me, which is what I used to do when I was chief of staff at the Army's largest brigade. Oh, leave it with me. And that was the monkey. I'd got the monkey on my back. They skipped off going, great, thank you. No longer a worry for me, because you'd said, leave it with me. But if you use those moments to coach someone to solve their own problems, so they take their own monkey on their own back away with them, and maybe even take one of your own monkeys that you've got, which suits them, away with them, you'll be much clearer. And I think as you get more senior as a leader and you have more people working for you, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. And what got you here won't get you there. And to get from here to there, you have to move from dance floor to balcony, as we've talked about before, but also be very selective in the way you allocate your time and say no to a lot more things. We've talked before about boundaries. But one of the tools that I use, and I've got it here, you probably can't see, but it's called Todoist. Now, it's a tool. There's many tools out there. I'm not paid by them or anything like that. I have no shares in them. That's my dog falling off the chair. But it has a really good system of an inbox, things to be done today, and upcoming stuff. And I love the way that it's broken down into projects. You select the projects that they are. So my first priority, and this is also linked to your own priorities. How do you do it? My first project is my wife Lee and our love. The second one is home, family, errands, and jobs. Third one, new business opportunities. Fourth is invoicing. 5, our health and fitness, my wife and myself. 6, personal growth. 7, podcasts and my guests. 8, current clients, work in progress. 9, someday maybe, but someday maybe never sometimes happens, but it's very useful. And I share some of those with Lee. But the point is, it's a great way of getting stuff out of my head onto paper, if you use paper, but I find having it useful, having it on the laptop, my main computer, and my phone, so I can actually find it wherever I am. The danger of small bits of paper, and I do occasionally fall to small bits of paper and notes of things to do, is that you can lose them, or you cross stuff out and you've forgotten where they are, or a bit of paper goes missing, or whatever it might be. And there tends to be bits of paper everywhere. So by having those things which are going to come up at a certain time when it is relevant in your diary, that you can forget about it until that moment it's there, or that maybe you've had a discussion with someone and they said, yes, I'll deliver it to you by the 15th. And you've got a little flag that comes up on the 15th, and you just get in touch and you drop them a note and say, how are you doing? Remember that the only thing you can control is your own thoughts, your own actions, and therefore the things that you prioritize and make your actions, that's what you have control over. Whether someone else decides to respond to it or get back to you by a certain date is really up to them. But you can check in with them and see how they're doing. So I find the whole area of time allocation, using a electronic, and I'm sure there's going to be AI, which is going to help us even more, between your calendar and your task of things to do, so that you don't just have a massive list, but you're constantly going through and pruning and cutting back and going, is this in line with, in my particular case, I have my milestone priorities. Things like number 1 is lead quality time, love, care, dates, and joyfulness. 2 is our 4 children and our 2 grandchildren at the moment, my brother Graham, loving and supporting them. 3, back to the projects, our fitness, health, relax time, mental well-being. 4 is a top client that I have, that we do a lot of work with them. 5 is delight existing clients and seeing how we can help them going deeper into their organization, making a bigger difference for them. 6 is selecting CEOs as podcast guests and unusual people, Olympians and Everest climbers and things like that. And 7 is winning new clients, CEOs and top teams. And then below that, I say shed 80% of what I do every year, shed 80%, and then be world-class as a leadership advisor and team coach. So I share that's my own personal stuff. But why am I showing that? I'm showing that because you need to think how you're going to allocate your time, and the things that matter most should not be at the expense of the things that matter least. I found as I've become both a father to 2 children and 2 stepchildren, and as a grandfather, having the time to be with a grandchild who's 1 or 2, and when they want to stop and look at tire tracks for 10 minutes, you're not rushing on because you've been able to make enough time for the things that matter most, and that quality of a relationship, in my case with my wife or my daughters or my stepson, stepdaughter, that's really important, and you need to allocate time. So time allocation, and good luck.